Hello and good evening or good morning, wherever you are in these social media streets. Welcome to another session of the Five. Good evening, ladies. Hello, ladies.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. So we're here right now to talk about social media and the effects or impact of social media in your life and people's lives in general. So let me start off the conversation. For me, social media has definitely impacted my life. Um, it has given me the opportunity to give me entertainment, as well as help me with my finances, as well as give me advice. I don't want to go too far in advance, but let me start off the first question. Uh, can you even remember a time in your life without social media?
Yes, the majority of my life. Absolutely.
Okay, okay, go
Absolutely.
ahead.
Yes.
Um, yeah, because social media wasn't around when I was growing up. It wasn't around. It's only been out, I don't know, however many years. So I've been without it for the majority of my life. It's made has a good impact on me, but it also has its negative flaws. But yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can also attest. I don't want to age myself, but I do remember a time, a life without social media. For example, we've gotten so spoiled of what's the number for the bank on Broad Street, and what did we have to do in the past? Pull out that
Pull out the
big
yellow
book,
pages.
yellow pages, or a name for a friend or a business or whatever, and we was what flipping pages.
Let our
You know,
fingers
I
do
don't
the
I don't want
work.
to age myself, but that was
That's what
I
it
was
is.
alive during that time.
We are what we
I had
are.
to
Old.
pull out that big yellow book or white book and
Mhm.
flip pages. And now today, all we have to do is pick up that, device, and within seconds you have it. You have it. So yeah.
Or even the operator. We would call the operator and get the
Oh,
number from
yeah.
the operator.
Information.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yes,
The
absolutely.
operator. Let's not forget the operator.
Not forget the operator. OG.
Wow.
And on a rotary phone or a touch tone, which one you
Mm.
have back there?
Both.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. So for those who don't know what social media is, let me just go ahead and do um, the definition of it. Social media is pretty much is a group of websites and or apps that allow people to create, share, interact any form of content or video, audio as a way to communicate with people online. And we know the World Wide Web is not just your local area, it's literally the world, international. You can share content with someone in Australia, Brazil, whatever.
Yeah.
And and they're mainly Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. In the beginning, what was the first social media site? Does anybody remember?
MySpace.
I was about to
Ah,
say, yeah.
Oh my
where did
God.
social media begin? MySpace, what was that? When I did my research, 2003
Hmm.
was the first social media space. And usually, I guess the early 2000s is when it first started coming out, and YouTube
Yeah.
came out first. I remember when YouTube first came out, and I was starting to watch videos. But it was just in the beginning, it was just watching videos, and it slowly morphed and changed and progressed
Hmm.
to other things.
Hmm.
So if you want to go into deeper, like, can anyone give any examples specifically how social media impacted their life personally? And we can go around in circles.
Well, for myself,
Hmm.
Facebook alone, I have met so many family members that because of the family not having family reunions, social media just link you up with so many family members that lives here in this I didn't even know I had.
That's
So that was
true.
a beautiful thing right there.
That is true. Yeah, I remember when Facebook first came out. It was supposed to kind of be similar to MySpace, but it took it up a higher notch, like 10 degrees higher. Because mainly it was between schools and universities and students, and we know who the maker of Facebook was and is. And then they just branched out into friends and only just friends, family when Facebook come out. That is correct. Anybody else?
You may.
Well, it has like anything else, it has its positive and negative attributes, right? And so it links you into people you haven't seen in forever. It opens the doors to people you have yet to meet, especially with WhatsApp, and you can talk to people all over the
WhatsApp. I forgot that one.
all over the world. But then in the same, like anything else, it's beneficial, but then people turn around and flip it for evil, right? And so, it has its bad attributes, bad things that we didn't have to worry about when we were growing up. For example, children can get into porn, predators can get easily attached to children that way. They have access through the internet. So it has its good and its bad things, but for the most part, I'll say it's been fair to Midland for me. I'll just put it right down the middle.
Okay.
Right middle.
Yeah. For me, I was kind of a late bloomer for Facebook. I joined pretty late.
Me too.
My excitement for the communication part or the connection with people, you know me, so but for me it's marketing. It's the thing that I don't need help with. It shows those, advertisements, the marketing, the item, the products. It keeps you in tune to things which when COVID hit, of course we stayed out the mall, and I was not an online shopper before COVID. Like you couldn't get me to purchase anything online. I had to be in the store with the action, to try the thing, to feel it, to look at the stitching, to check the details. I was that shopper. Fast forward COVID, social media. I was even late to Amazon. What? COVID hit and I had packages nonstop ever since COVID. So yeah, for me, social media, um, it's the marketing, it's the product sales, which is everything has its pros and cons, but for me it's a con because the more I say I'm going to stop shopping and save, the more something pops up. And then what I'm doing, it pulls me in and I'm checking for different colors. And so, yeah.
I definitely agree. You mentioned COVID and the pandemic. It's like social media is like, it definitely kicked up a whole couple notches between pre-pandemic, I believe, and post-pandemic. Before the pandemic, we were on social media, we were sharing, we were talking, and but until the pandemic, if y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, people weren't really posting personal live videos. It was just content sharing or information grabbing, obtaining information, getting your weather, getting your news, getting your content from the major outlets that were giving news on, celebrities and what's going on in the world, um, publication, local news outlets, national news outlets, CNN. But when the pandemic hit, people launched to social media as a way of an escape. And then you started seeing more people going on live, personal live, comedians like Country Wayne. Who knew about Country Wayne before the pandemic? People just posting stuff because and you would see different shorts and different jokes, different skits on people just doing things on at home, trying to pass the time, different karaoke, singing, and different dressing,
TikToks, a lot of TikToks.
yes, outfit of the day, just different content people posting personally and just going on live. People doing their personal videos, sharing their experiences of the pandemic. That
Mm-hmm.
was huge.
Yeah.
And then what I also remember is churches, because people were mandated to stay indoors and they couldn't go out and they couldn't go in church. Churches were posting live their services on live, Facebook Live. That was huge. You
Yeah.
didn't see that before the pandemic. You wouldn't see that.
Yeah.
And now, post pandemic, people are, if they weren't able to go back at home, or they're still ill, or still forced to stay at home, they still go on live and view their church service online.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a huge impact. Another impact, I think, during the pandemic for social media is social injustice.
Yeah.
Prior to the pandemic, even before social media, that's the main thing. Before social media, before these, we had the camera phones, but before social media, injustices weren't documented. It
Yeah.
couldn't be captured. So it was basically the victim's word against whoever was accusing them, out of the cop or whatever witness that came forward or paid to come forward.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just their word against theirs, and you had to pray that your lawyer was able to get you off, and the jury saw your side, or that was it. But
Yeah.
once social media hit these streets, it was a complete 360 turn, 180 turn, because people were able to use that device and actually get their own video on live when stuff happened. And it wasn't just one word against, you had the proof, the video proof, and the police can't just say this happened. No, you were able to see it live and in color. Who can we name? George Floyd. That was huge. March in May 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And that sister, I can never forget that sister. And she was there, and she saw that cop, Chauvin, his name, with
Mm-hmm.
his knee on his neck. And that was videotaped, recorded with audio. And you literally saw that poor man
Mm-hmm.
die, and that sparked the movement of Black Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge. That's a huge impact because of social media.
Yeah.
Um, that's huge. Can anyone else name anything else that they saw that
A lot of
sparked
Black businesses
into that
thrive.
social injustices? Yes, go ahead.
A lot of Black businesses. A lot of young ladies with their talents, the nail technicians,
Mm-hmm.
the hair salons. A lot, because you couldn't get out and do anything. People
I
talent
remember those.
came out of
Yes.
everywhere.
Yeah. That's
Mm-hmm.
so true. Yeah, it
I
was
mean,
another way of basically marketing yourself
Mm-hmm.
to make income.
Yep. And I mean, with that being said, all these now influencers that we have just everywhere, of all
mm-hmm.
types, influencing us to do all kinds of things, purchasing um makeup and nail products and
Mm-hmm.
um religious services and all these things. It's influencing has taken over the world a different, a whole different level because of
Mhm.
them. You see a commercial, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna go try this baking soda because the commercial was so cute. Oh my God, that's so cute. But now, influence after influence after influencer promoting the same product, and you're like, all these people could possibly be legitimate with their reviews, right? Not even thinking for a second, that just maybe, and so next thing you know, you're influenced to buy these things that you would have never had purchased just because
Right.
thousands of people are talking about it. So now you, oh my God, I gotta get it. And next thing you know, you're ordering it and you have it home, and there's a chance that you may absolutely love it, and there's that possibility of like, what were they talking about? You know?
Right.
So
Right.
again, it definitely has its social media has its good points for the most part. Good, has given us lots of advantages. You know, and it's funny because just last week or this week and last week, um, there's this couple that I follow. There's your favorite influencers that you follow, right? And this is one couple that I follow, and one married couple, and the husband did a video by himself and his wife wasn't there. I mean, he was in shambles, just complete. He was just, when I say this man was distraught. He divulged that his mom had terminal cancer.
Mm.
And then, he indirectly said that, showed us that his wife wasn't there because she's usually by his side. And so he, directly showed us that she wasn't physically there, but didn't say why. And so all the speculation, this is the power of influence. All the speculation happened. So now you have all these people making, all these other influencers making all these different videos about this couple. Some speculating on why she's not there, some mocking him because he's crying. I mean, when I say this man was distraught. So there's people mocking him because he was crying, calling him they just had a baby not too long ago. So, now, saying he's done something that to have his wife leave, and now he can't see his child. I mean, all these different opinions, and that's what social media has done, has given people the power, the audacity to say whatever they want to say that they wouldn't have the ability to say to you, right? So, but now we have keyboard assassins and stuff, and so people are just insensitive. It's made us become more insensitive. It made us become more rude as a society. It made us just become more mean, and we didn't need any help being mean. Back to this couple, and so he came on a couple of days after that, and he had his little strength and courage back, and he said, people, mocking him and speculating and saying, oh no, he's an abuser, and he's a racist, and all these other, because they're an interracial couple, and that generates, the bigger your video gets, the more money you make. And he generated, 5 figures of income. I want to say 46,000, 56, something like that. And so now people are, and so he showed them, you making fun of me, but this is what I'm doing. And so he took that money to pay for his mother's medical bills. And then people started saying, well, he scammed us, he's a con artist. But the man never asked anybody for money, never asked for a dime. And now you're saying, his wife left because he's gay. And so my point is, like, when you're an influencer, when is it too much? Like, what are you, because you want to be transparent, but when you be transparent, then you have vicious people who go and cut you down just because they're behind a keyboard and think they can.
Yeah.
So when it's too much, and when is it not enough? Like, how would you, as influencers, because that's what we are, right? How would if we are personal influencers, how would you draw the line to backlash and rudeness and discrimination and just total disrespect for people that don't even know who you are?
See, so that's just that's a great point, Nicole, because that's just the sheer nature of social media. It's who can control it, who can monitor it, who can really put barriers to it. It's the World Wide Web. And these influencers, like you say, they you can post a video and it's basically the form of public opinion. Social media has made, I mean, prior to that, what's their opinion? You would talk amongst yourselves internally within your local circle, in your family, your close friends, right? Think about it, way back when. But as soon as these social media streets came on, influencers had their forum, had their platform to give their opinion, to voice their opinion about whatever topic they wanted to talk about or whatever item they wanted to sell or influence. And then the ones in the comment, the chat is a whole animal within itself. We never had this power before.
Vicious.
That
People
was
are
my
vicious.
other point.
Yeah.
The chat, the comments gave people who don't have the boldness to come on camera.
Yeah.
However, that keyboard,
Yeah.
they go in and stuff they wouldn't say to a person face to face. They don't have the boldness to say face to face. They do so in the comments viciously. However, viciously they can. However, kindly they can. Whatever that's in their heart comes out in that keyboard. So that's a huge change, a huge impact on society. Is those comments, and the ability to the ones who have the boldness to come on camera to say what they want to say, all behind that keyboard. Twofold.
It
Huge
is.
impact. Huge impact.
For
And you
sure.
also mentioned the finance. That was also my other point I wanted to bring out. What motivates someone to want to come on camera and press that button to come on is now because these apps wanted to promote their app and they wanted to basically pay you money after you gain so many influencers or followers, like I say. They would incentivize you, incentivize that topic. The more people press like and share that particular author, that video they would get paid by that app. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, top 3. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, top 3. They would incentivize these influencers and it created careers. That particular incentivization created people brand new careers.
Yeah.
And
people have left their corporate jobs. Corporate jobs to become an influencer.
Yes.
During COVID.
Yeah.
Yes. And most of them started through COVID because people started going on through COVID, sheer boredom, trying to, deviate from depression because they had no human human contact. And the only way, even for me, when it was COVID, we were in the house, besides with my family, the only form of impact, human contact, besides work was social media. And how about the ones who couldn't go to work?
Yeah.
And school was shut down. And some went into severe depression as a result. So their only form of human contact was that social media. And they went off. And some people made their monies, made their finances, made their whole careers off of social media. So that's a huge impact.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like with anything in life, things happen to us to either make you stronger or it's either going to make you or break you.
Yeah.
And as Nicholas mentioned earlier, with people having the kahunas to say what they want to say, and how would you respond? I think that was her question. But just like in your personal life, when you're whatever your career is, you have to pick and choose, which was one of our topics. So go back and find that topic for picking and choosing. But you have to pick and choose, your battles. Just like with these celebrities, they can't respond to every naysayer, under their post, but you do have the privilege, the availability to block somebody. So I feel like it's easier to just let them go, ignore them, and then if it gets too disrespectful, too out of control, then you use that little index finger and you block them.
Absolutely.
But then it makes you think about, of course, Jesus didn't have the social media available, but he had people in the crowd that was voicing their opinion and throwing the shade and throwing the negativity, but he ignored it. Some he responded to, and then some he ignored. So we have to do that. And I don't want to go off topic, so I'm not even going to share that thought. But we have to do better at picking and choosing and what we respond to, what we give our time to. Like some of these cowards, is the nicest way that I can say it.
Yeah,
Some of these cowards is not even worth your time.
Not at all.
It's
I
not
agree.
it's not even worth it because who knows what they look like behind that screen. They can be the most insecure. I'm not going to give a description because I'm not going to shame anybody, but who knows,
Yeah.
what they look
Hmm.
like, or they could be just having a bad day. They could be a normal person that's normally, vibrant and happy and could be just be having a bad day and saw the post was like, you know what?
Yeah,
I'm gonna make them feel what I feel and just going with the negative comment. So I'm learning this every day and more that people are just not worth
yeah,
they're just not worth it.
I agree. Everything's not
It's
worth your energy.
it's,
Everything's not
it's
worth giving off your energy. You can pick and choose what to respond to. Sometimes you just have to swipe and
Girl.
scroll,
Also, you have to
and
swipe and
that's
understand.
scroll.
so big for me to even for the fact of those who know me know. I love that phrase. If you know me, you know. To
You
even
know?
say that, like to ignore people and to just let folk be folk. For me to even say that, it's a big testament to God because eh,
Sure.
yeah, that was not easy for me to say. I'm not gonna go back to how long ago because I don't know. But the new me, you just have to really ignore
People. Yeah.
ignorant,
Yeah,
disrespectful people. And that's the nicest two terms that I'm gonna use because I could go lower, but I'm not. But you guys get the point.
yeah.
You
You
also
want to say
have
something,
to
Michelle?
understand also, you have to be mindful of what you post. You
Hmm.
can't just post any and everything
You
and don't
shouldn't.
think you're going to get
Hmm.
negative
Good
feedback.
point.
You know,
Good point.
it's been times that I was on social media and I'm like, and they're like, mind your business. I'm like, oh no, too late. I'm invested now. I want to know what happened next. I
Hmm.
mean, you really have to understand. You have to understand what you're posting and the
Yeah.
type of crowd that you may be drawing in.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So kind of
That's a
start with
very
you
good point.
also.
Yeah, true. And keep
That's
in mind what you're posting because once you hit that send button,
Yeah.
can't take it back.
once you hit that send button,
Come
it's a
on.
wrap. So, like Shell said, you gotta make sure that you
Tough
want to
skin.
share this piece of information about your like people get on social media and if they're upset with their husband, upset with their wife, with their
Mm,
children, but they want to put all the stuff out there. And it's like
Hmm.
it's not for everybody. But
Hmm.
again, and then the negativity is the negative stuff is what's going to get the followers and get the
yeah,
most likes and get the so it's you got to also keep in mind that okay, you may be living in the city of Philadelphia, but because it's a negative vibe,
Every
people in Australia,
gravitate to it. Yeah,
you know what I mean,
yeah.
people across the world is going to see this video and give
That's
their
a very good
opinion.
point. I
It.
can remember, I can remember during yeah, because the yeah, when Trump first came in office, that was 2020, right? First his first
Mhm.
his
I think
first, yeah,
so.
right. I don't
2020.
know.
Yeah, and it was during the pandemic. Everybody was in the house. Yeah, because we had to vote and we had a mask. Yep. It was during the
Mhm.
pandemic and there were actual influencers. There were several types. But the main one I can remember, and they were Facebook was sued for that. There were actual influencers paid to put out triggers to trigger the population to influence them against the other party and to
Mm-hmm.
put out racial racist based video to to trigger people
Mm-hmm.
and to trigger content to trigger traffic to that post, again increasing likes and views,
Mm-hmm.
again being incentivized. and causing all this influx. And other people also were posting him being in office triggered people who were quiet, people you didn't even know, people your neighbors you always smiled at of the other hue of color. And then that person just flipped when he came into office and started just putting all this stuff on their own page, and like and it triggered their own people, their own friends, their own community. How this was on your heart? And they were emboldened because he was in office. They were emboldened to post all this stuff, and other people were influenced, paid influences to put all this stuff, and it triggered the community, it triggered the world. And you saw people in the Walmarts coming out and saying whatever, and they would get videotape. And you see people trying to use the swimming pool, and UPS workers trying to work, doing their job, and they're getting stopped by the neighbors, and people in their own neighborhood being interrogated by their same neighbors. Who are you? Why are you being here? Why are you jogging? So it's all this influence of type of input content during it's gotten through now, but during that time, it was the worst.
Yeah.
It was
It
the
still
worst.
happens. It still happens.
Yeah, it still happens. But during that first session, that first term when he got into office, people were emboldened.
Mm-hmm.
I think because
They were,
I think it was more then because we were shocked that it was happening. Now we're so desensitized because we just expect the nonsense. You know what I mean? But it's
yeah,
still
Right.
happening.
Right.
Did you guys hear? This is crazy. Social media has um made the wackadoodles, for lack of a better term, come out because things are monetized and people are so desperate to go viral, like any
to make
means
money.
necessary, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, did you see about the guy that was arrested in Philadelphia? I just watched it this afternoon, actually, this morning. He was walking around with a mask on in suburban station, terrifying people. You know,
Yeah.
he got behind this one jogger and asked her if she was ready to die.
Yeah.
I didn't see that one. Okay.
Yeah, I saw this today.
Ready to fight.
Yeah, he walked around with he had his hand behind his back, but yet he still had a camera, his phone on, and a hand behind his back. So when he got up to this particular jogger and said what he said, she took off running. She ran so fast and did whatever she did, she hurt herself to the point that she had surgery. And then he went down in the suburban station and started, try to traumatize a couple people. And then the transit police, told him to remove his mask. And so he removed it, but not enough, because then when he removed it, just to keep them off his back. But then he had something else underneath that didn't expose his face. And so, and then he was, traumatizing people in the suburban station, and they followed him, because now everything is, you have all these satellites.
CCTV. Mm-hmm.
Not in the sea, girl, in the sky, that you can follow people. And so they followed him from one point to the next. And at some point, he did take off his mask when he was on his way home on the train. So now they see who you are,
Stupid.
and they, and they watched him go home and all these other things. Come to find out, they did
the background check.
The reporters were talking today, and what the one guy said, because though he didn't hurt anyone, and though they didn't find a weapon, they think he was doing it for social media, to get social media views,
likes, and views.
My goodness.
Right, to record it and upload it to social media, terrorizing people, because there's wackadoodles out there that's going to love that content, especially since we're coming in to the fall and here comes October and all these other things. So now he has charges pinned against him just because he wanted to get viral videos that he can upload for social media. Social media it's made calmest people not as calm.
Yeah, that's that shock value, getting that shock value reaction. Exactly. I've seen videos like that.
Exactly.
Where they would purposely run into traffic. Mm-hmm. They purposely fall down a flight of stairs to get that shock value reaction. And and then they share.
That's absolutely insane.
That's crazy.
Now he's going to jail for I don't know how long. God only knows, just because he wanted to, we go viral on social media, is what they really believe his motive was. They never found a weapon. So how are you going to kill somebody if you don't find a weapon? You know what I mean? So they really believe it was to post for social media, so they become viral at some point.
Being a
Because
content creator.
And it's crazy how people post things, negative things, just so they can go viral.
Yeah.
All the time.
I was watching a video yesterday about a mother. And I'm like, oh, cool. It's about a mother showing us how she potty trained all of her children. I forget how many, there were like six or seven children between the ages of whatever, and she potty trained them all before they were whatever months old. And she showed us how she did. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Right. And she would, no more Pampers and no more pull-ups. It was just straight underwear. The same things, my parents, grandparents did. No, you get a certain age, no more Pampers, just underwear. You can feel that you're wet, et cetera, et cetera. And she did all these things. But the one comment she made that had everyone in the comments livid is that because she said that even when they go to bed, she puts on the underwear so they can feel that they're wet, but there's still a pull-up over the top of it. But when it's time to wash them after they have gone to the bathroom on themselves, she puts them in, gives them a cold shower.
Ooh,
that's torture.
wow.
She gives them a cold shower. And I went straight to the comments after she said that, because I knew these people were going to go off on her. But it's bringing people to her video.
To her, giving her the views.
So she can get the views. So the more views you make, the more viral it gets, the more money you get from that one video. Now, whether that part is true or
It could
not,
be a lie.
we
Yeah, I'm
never
wondering,
know.
was that intentional or was it just for the
Lie.
views?
We will
Never
never
know.
know. But it's crazy to just think that people do anything and say anything, be it true or false, just to make people get their panties in a bunch. And because the more people comment on their video,
Mhm.
the more it's going to get spun, the more it's going to
the
get
algorithm gets
right.
triggered,
So,
and it goes on your timeline. You swipe it. Oh, look, let me and then boom,
based on the
it
title, and
increases
so
the views.
it has these things that draw us in based
The
on title, based
strategy.
on thumbnail that they use, based on all these things, these hashtags that we use, that people use just to get our attention, and we seem to fall for it all the time.
Mhm. Crazy.
That's the nature of social media. There's a lot of pros and cons. Before we close out, if anybody wanted to say anything else about it, a lot of pros and cons. But I think as society, as a community, we have to be more responsible, as adults.
Yeah.
And as adults, teaching our kids, like even with my son, I already blocked his phone to certain content, as being under 18 years old. I did that since he got the phone. But as he's getting older, he's going to be 18 in less than a month. So now he's a quote unquote adult, and the specifications on the app says under 18. So now he's going to be over 18. I can't block him anymore.
Yeah.
So it's my job as a parent continue to instill in him what's appropriate for his age and what's not appropriate. Even when, he didn't have a phone when he was 2, 3, 5, and 10, but that's me. I've seen other kids as young as 2, 3, 4
with devices,
with their phone, because they use it as a way
to
quiet their kids, to quiet their kids, throw a phone in their hand, throw an iPad in their hand. So as adults, it's our job, it's our responsibility to be more responsible, be more cautious, to protect our kids and show them the rights and wrongs, the good and bad of social media. No different from talking to a stranger. If you see a particular thumbnail that looks not like not like what I show you.
Yeah.
If it's not what I show you in the cartoon streets, on what you see on PBS Kids or whatever, don't click on it. If one video passes by, because they have certain type of video looking like a cartoon.
They do.
Cartoon sounds, and it's pornography.
Yeah.
They're getting so slick with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like we can go on. I don't want to drag out the video for any longer, but as a society, we have to be responsible, we have to be conscious. And as content creators, we have to be responsible and have to be conscious. Don't be so focused on making money. Good, all money is not good money.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No.
Oh, I want to go viral, I want to get incentivized. It's gonna come, if you're that person, every other day you don't have to do the extreme irresponsibly, you know what I mean, to get that money because then it's on
Mhm.
your hands and we have to do better. Anyone want to add to that
Yeah, we
before we close
do.
out?
We do.
Yeah,
We
I
do.
people have to
think
do better. Just be mindful of, what you post is out there. It's gonna be forever out there. Just like, well, I'm not gonna get into that because that was a little left my thought there. But yes, what you post is out there. So just think about your children. If do you want your child in the future to come across this video, me talking bad about their mother, their father, their auntie, their uncle, or just think of you're in the moment sometimes posting and sharing, but is that something that you're gonna want to see or want your child
Your
to
child.
come across when they're no longer 5 and see the kind of person your character.
Right.
So yeah.
I do
Absolutely.
think that with some of the violence, I think the owners should push the button. I don't think you should be allowed to video yourself doing mass shootings and things like that. So I do think at some point with social media, I know the newest thing is unaliving. And if you say dead or kill or something like that, they'll
It's flagged.
It'll
mute
get
out
it'll
your
get
post or they
flagged.
won't even let
Mm-hmm.
it. So if how is it this guy is able to videotape himself running around trying to harm people, even if that wasn't what he was trying to do? To us, it looked like you're trying to harm people. And I also have one that I had recorded myself. I didn't record it, but it was sent to me before they had a chance to delete it. Where the guy went to the supermarket, and you could see him recording himself, and he starts shooting the people in the parking lot and all the way in the supermarket.
You see
Something
that
like
one?
that.
Oh my goodness.
It was horrible. Something like that. I don't think they should let that get through. I think you should stop something like that.
Yeah.
Well, didn't
Mm.
a celebrity, I was told when I went to go find it, it was no longer up. But I was just informed that a celebrity um just recorded his cell phone alive doing harm to himself, like he stabbed himself.
It was talking
Mhm.
about but that's different. And that's different because I know exactly who you're talking about. And it's different because he was Wendy Williams before while Wendy Williams was out, he was a gossip columnist and all this other things. He was
Oh,
homosexual and he just found Christ as his Lord and personal savior. And so that at the moment that was a spiritual issue, demonic issue. He wasn't doing it for views or anything like that. And
under the influence.
no,
In warfare.
yeah, yeah, and it just so happened to be live, and because you know how the enemy works, and so oh, now they're start clowning Jesus because he said he got Christ, but why is he doing this? And so now just another thing, another reason for people not to come to
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was that. I didn't see it, thank God, but I had just watched the video of his a day or two before when he was in the hospital. Um, he was in the hospital fighting for his life. Almost died a couple of times. He's very sickly. He has 3 children. And so he was giving just praise to God and thanks to Jesus for saving him and getting him out of there. And then 1 or 2 days later, that happened.
Yeah.
So, and then people, of course,
Of course, because it has to do with Jesus.
yep,
And
just gonna,
yeah, they're gonna
yeah,
flip it. Yeah.
run with it.
Okay.
Yeah. But, and I think the most important thing, Mika, you were talking about, and you and Bernice were talking about, being mindful of our children, and, just a trap for them, because something that we never had to deal with, right? Because if we wanted to look
Never.
something up, we would have to go to encyclopedia,
Child,
right?
go to a
Opposed to just
library and pull out the card
Googling things.
and mm-hmm.
But what people don't realize now, when you're going for a job, they check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Yes.
When you're
They
Yeah.
looking
We
for
check
didn't talk
employment,
about that.
right.
your possible employer goes to and searches for your social media to see what kind of manner of man you are. And so we have
Mhm.
to, I mean, social media is good, but we have to be careful of the things that we post, because it could turn out to bite you in the butt. Even you'll say it's my personal business, it's my personal time, and all those things may be true. But if they say, well, she was just using, just like that cop got fired,
Yeah.
just like that
Several
pageant
people.
queen, that pageant queen lost her position because they were doing what? Being racist and using the N-word. And even though
Yes.
that was how many years ago, now you're public, you're in the public eye. You take care of the
Mhm.
public. So it's good for
Right.
us to know what manner of man you are, but you done lost your job. You got your title taken away from you because of what you
Yeah.
posted on social media.
They
And that's
felt
a good
emboldened.
point to bring up because I love investigations, investigator shows, and on 48 Hours is one of the investigations that I watch. And believe it or not, that's how most of the detectives find out the evidence and whatever that they need, is because these dummies
Wow.
are
See,
posting, their
they posted.
guns and, their bad life,
They be bragging about it.
on social media, and that's how a lot of them get caught.
Wow.
So, yeah,
Yeah, insane.
Call that a pro, not a con. That's a good thing.
that
Yeah,
that is a good thing, but
for some.
at the point that she made to, having your children be aware that you think that you're just posting this on social media, or it's my Instagram, or it's my Facebook page, but your
World Wide Web.
employers, it follows you. Just like anything you do in life, it's tracking you.
Mm-hmm.
It's tracking you, and they have a way of going to your Facebook page because you think you're posting something so grand and showing off and boasting, and that's how these criminals getting caught.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's very true. That's a very good point, ladies. So with that being said, thank you for watching. And if you have anything else you want to add to the conversation, go ahead and put it in the comments. We can continue this discussion and give your own personal experiences of how social media impacted your life. How's it been a pro? How's it been a con for you and as well your family, your work life, your home life? And go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you again next time. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye.